Important because he is the protagonist of this chapter, and we see his and Tom conflict come to the surface. This happens because Tom realized Gatsby and Daisy are in love with each other. Quotes word on page 129, chapter 7. Tom asks Gatsby, "What kind of row are you trying to cause in my house anyhow?" Gatsby is content with this fact, the issue unopened, but before he responds, Daisy says, "He isn't causing a row." While looking from one to the other, she continues desperately, "You're causing a row. Please have some self-control." Arrow. This event from chapter 7 can be connected to the 1920s because the reader can start to see the new light on Gatsby and Daisy's relationship. That may not be nothing more than a fling. Here, Daisy is too afraid to admit that she's considering leaving Tom. Author's personal connector is, while writing this portion of the book, Fitzgerald may have been writing while identifying with Tom's character because of Fitzgerald's affair with another man during the 1920s. This whole chapter is conflict and confrontation. The connection is the chapter can be separated in the 1920s because it shows carelessness and jealousy of people and these characters during this time period.
Tom is important to chapter 7 of The Great Gatsby because this is a place where we've never seen Tom. He is expressive of his feelings for Daisy and uses these feelings for her to show his true feelings for Gatsby. All throughout the book, Tom has just been giving us a small doses of how he felt towards Gatsby. But in chapter 7, he briefly explains and exposes that. Quote, "Once in a while, I go off on a spree and make it full of myself, but I always come back, and in my heart, I love her all the time." Pages 251 through 252. He's basically saying that it's okay that he has little affairs as long as he knows he loves Daisy. Tom's anger is also revealed when someone told him that to have some self-control. I suppose the latest thing is to sit back and let Mr. Nobody from nowhere, referring to Gatsby, make love to your wife. When Tom said this, we see just how important wealth isn't. Every piece of money in the entire world could not make Gatsby worth Golden Girl Daisy. The scenario can be connected to the 20s because it divulges information which creates drama, but soon is to be over. In the 20s, people handled their reactions based on circumstances that were only temporary. The author may have written this chapter to explain how a person can only feel betrayal but not admitting and actually noticing when you've been betrayed. Daisy knew Tom was having an affair, but she chose to stay with him. Tom didn't admit that he had a couple affairs, but when he thought Daisy was, he was only focused on her wrongdoing and not his. In this chapter of The Great Gatsby, we learn all about confrontation, betrayal, and vexation.
Another very important person in this chapter is Daisy because she symbolizes the carelessness of people in the 1920s. She decides she wants to leave Tom for Gatsby without thinking about the effect of her decisions, and then decides that she loves Tom until after Gatsby and Tom finally come head to head. Daisy's fear of her and Gatsby's consequences lead her and everyone else to the climax of this chapter. This happened after Tom sends Daisy and Gatsby back to Westegg to prove that he has no worries of losing his wife. On the drive back, Daisy hits and kills Myrtle because Myrtle ran out in front of the car while Daisy's judgment was blurred, and she didn't have enough time to swerve out of the way. This event is important because it shows Daisy's real frustration with the situation. She states on page 261, "Oh, you want too much. I love you now, isn't that enough? I can't help what's past." And then she began to sob helplessly. "I did love him once, but I loved you too." This is another connection to the 1920s. During this time period, people didn't care about love as much as they cared about their money. And Daisy is a good example of this. Daisy fell in love with a man who was rich and ignorant. The theme of her character in this chapter is hopelessness and self-conceitedness.